Yo, what up guys? This is your boy Legendary here, and today people we're going to be doing another deck profile, and we're going to be finally doing the infamous Zane Truesdale aka Hell Kaiser himself. So finally we're getting into this. I honestly thought I did this deck profile years ago already, but I think I did make it at one point, and then I guess I didn't edit it or something went wrong. But I do specifically remember recording it like physically, and something went wrong. I don't know what went wrong, but I don't have it anymore, and I looked on my channel and it wasn't there, so here we are. But anyway, we're going to be doing Zane Truesdale's Hell Kaiser deck, so that's having all the Cyber Dragon stuff mixed in with the Cyberdark stuff and you know, all that stuff. But yeah, we're going to hop right into it. We're going to start off by, starting with the Cyber Dragon section, obviously. So we're going to look at all the cyber support. Obviously, we're going to have our 3 Cyber Dragons, because he has 3. And you need 3 for Cyber End Dragon. Also, so there's a bunch of new Cyber Dragon support that has come out over the years. But me and Robbie talked about it. We looked through everything. We read the effects and stuff. And, we had to decide what goes in and what goes out. We had to decide what we felt was good Zane support and what wasn't good Zane support, or what was made more for competitive. So a lot of the cards, new cards that came out, we didn't add. So for example, cards like Cyberdark Horn, Cyber Dragon Vray, obviously Infinity, we couldn't add that because that's an Xyz that doesn't fit with the timeline of the show. That was created as Cyber Dragon support for the competitive version of Cyber Dragons, but not for the GX, the anime version, because there is a difference between the support from the anime, support for the anime, and support just for the competitive play. There's a difference between the two, and you can kind of tell by the way they design certain monsters and the effects, so you could actually tell. So those cards are out. Cyber Dragon Seer is out, Cyber Dragon Veer's Way, all of those cards are out. We read through their effects. Yeah, they have pretty decent effects and stuff, but we just decided not to add them because we felt they were just made for competitive play. Like that's what we felt like. And if you want to add them and you feel like we're wrong, that's perfectly fine. You can add them. The only cards we did add from the new support were from the Duelist pack that came out for Zane a while ago. So the Cyberdark support that came out for Zane in one of the legendary Duelist packs, and the new Cyber Dragon support like Cyber Eternity Dragon, that does go in there because that was specific support for the anime, and that'll be in this deck profile, so you're gonna see it. But yeah, so some of those newer edgier stuff, like you could even tell based on the designs. Look at Cyber Twin Dragon, Cyber Valley, like look at the artwork of these guys. They look a lot more simple, a lot more clean. And then if you look at some of the newer stuff that came out in the future, you could already tell, like look at how futuristic this looks, and that looks, and this looks. Like it looks, the design of them looks so far off, so different from the original Cyber Dragons that they kind of stand out a little bit too much. And it's kind of obvious based on, like, yes, obviously they're going to have effects that work with Cyber Dragon stuff because of Cyber Dragon support, but that's not the same as saying it's support for Zane Truesdale, his anime deck. But that's just our opinion. If you don't agree with us, you can definitely add those cards in. If you completely disagree, that's fine. We're just going based on, we talked about it and that's what we decided. But anyway, back to the deck profile. Sorry to ramble, I just had to explain that so people understand why we didn't add a lot of the new support. We really thought about it, and that's our decision. Anyway, so then we have Proto-Cyber Dragon. So let's go on down here. Alright, we got 1 copy of Proto-Cyber Dragon. We also have Cyber Phoenix, 1 copy of that card. You could use its anime effect. I think its anime effect is if it's attacked and destroyed by battle, you could draw 1 card. It doesn't have to be in attack position. Oh, actually, never mind. That's just for the first effect, so ignore that. But you can use the anime effect if you want. Next up, we have 1 copy of Armed Cybern, Armored Cybern. Then we have 1 copy of Cyber Kirin, right here, to prevent taking damage from the power bond. Then we also have Cyber Pharos. This is one of the new support cards. This card kind of summons itself by tributing a machine monster, and then you can this also allows you to fusion summon while it's on the field, and then you could use monsters. So it's kind of like its own polymerization, which is really cool. This also came out in the Duelist pack along with the Eternal Evolution Burst spell card and the new fusion and stuff. So this does count as Zane support. And then this card also searches out Power Bond, which is a classic Zane thing to do, to search out Power Bond. So yeah, so we have Cyber Pharos, 1 copy of that. We have Cyber Valley. Obviously we got to add that up in there. And then we have Heavy Mech Support Platform. So he has 2 copies of those. You could just add 1 if you want, but I was just trying to fill up space. So if you want to add 1, you can add 1. But I added 2. So then we're going to do the Cyberdark monsters. So we have Cyberdark Horn, Cyberdark Keel, Cyberdark Edge, and then we have the 2 new support cards, Cyberdark Cannon. This card is amazing. You send it to the graveyard to search out a Cyberdark monster. That's really good already, and then it sets it up. It's actually a dragon monster, so they actually fixed it. So now it's a dragon, so you can send that to the graveyard, then normal summon one of the ones you search to equip it. Now you have a 2400 attack point monster that could not be destroyed once per turn because it's equipped, and then you get to draw 1 card if this card is equipped to a monster and it's sent to the graveyard. So overall, very solid effect, and you get to even pitch a card from your deck to the graveyard to set up for your graveyard for overload fusion and stuff. So this card is amazing. It literally does everything. We have Cyberdark Claw. You could do this to search out a Cyberdark spell or trap card from your deck or hand. So Cybernetic Impact or Cyberdark Inferno. We'll add that later on. And then on top of that, this card also sends cards to the graveyard from the extra deck. So you could set up 5-headed dragon to the graveyard to equip it to your, Cyberdark Dragon and have 6,000 attack plus 100 for every card in the graveyard. So there's some cool combos with that as well. So those are the Cyber Dragon cards right there. Let's see what's next. We have Exploda Dragon, and then we also have Infernal Dragon right here, and then we also have Kaiser Glider, another card that he owns, another dragon. And then we have Perfect Machine King. This was shown in his deck, but we never got to actually see him use it, but it was in his deck, so he does own this, so you can add that. So we have Perfect Machine King. That's good. All right, we're going to do the spell cards next. We got Power Bond. I'm only adding 1 copy, and I'll add 1 copy of Power Bond in the side deck. The reason why is because of the huge cost that you can pay. You're not always going to have Cyber Kirin or one of your effect negating cards. So having 2 can kind of be very risky. You don't want to kill yourself in 1 shot because anime duels are 4,000 life points. Cyber and Dragon's attack is 4,000 if you do go for that. So it's kind of risky. So I'd rather just add 1 for now and then put 1 in the side deck, but you could switch that up if you want. Then we got 2 copies of Polymerization. Then we have Overload Fusion, over here. Then we have Future Fusion, the classic Future Fusion. Alright, we got Future Fusion right there. If you want, you could use its original TCG effect before it got eroded, because that effect is stronger. So I would prefer if you use that one, or if you want to use the anime effect, the original first one, you can use that too. It's up to you, whichever one you want to use. Then we also have the new support card, Cyber Load Fusion. This allows you to fusion summon a Cyber Dragon monster, from your extra deck using cards from your field and or the cards that are banished. So once you banish everything with Overload Fusion, you can then activate this to then shuffle those banished monsters back into the deck. You shuffle them back into the deck to summon another fusion. So that's 2 right there for the price. Well, for the price of 2. 2 fusions for the price of 2. But Cyber Load Fusion is a really good card. It's going to come in handy a lot. I've used it a lot, even in Duel Links, and it has come in handy quite a bit. So Cyber Load Fusion is right there. That's one of the new support cards. Then we have Cybernetic Fusion support. This card is amazing too because by paying half your life points, it allows you so that way if you activate Polymerization, you could use materials from your hand, field, or graveyard. So that's good. That means no matter what, even if you just mill everything to the graveyard, with different card effects and stuff like that, you could just activate Power Bond or Poly and then activate this, so that way you don't have to worry about having anything on the field or your hand. You could just dump everything to the graveyard and then use everything from your graveyard for a fusion summon. So that's really good. Alright, next up we're gonna have limiter removal for obviously power, doubling your machine monsters. Then we have Evolution Burst, one of the new support cards, right? Oh, never mind. This isn't new. This is old. But Evolution Burst is a signature move for Cyber Dragon. It allows you to pop a card on the field if you control Cyber Dragon, but it can't attack. And then we also have, Super Strident Blast, which is the signature move for Cyber and Dragon in the dubbed. You equip it to a machine fusion monster, so it doesn't have to be Cyber End. It can be any machine fusion, but obviously you would rather equip this to Cyber End. Your opponent can activate cards or effects during the battle phase, which is really good because Zane really needed that because he doesn't have a lot of back row protection. So the fact that you could just attack and then they can't activate anything is actually very helpful for Zane's deck. At the end of the damage step, if the equipped monster attacked an opponent's monster, you can banish 1 Cyber Dragon monster in your graveyard. The equipped monster can attack attack an opponent's monster again in a row. Your other monsters cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. So that's really cool. You could just keep banishing Cyber Dragons to keep attacking. I don't think that's once per turn either. It doesn't say once per turn. So that's good. You could attack with Cyberdark Dragon, and if you kill something, or even if you didn't kill something, you don't even have to kill it. At the end of the damage step, if it attacked an opponent's monster, so even if it's still lived, it doesn't matter. You could just keep banishing Cyber Dragons to keep attacking and attacking and attacking, because there's no limitation. It's not once per turn at all. But obviously your other monsters wouldn't be able to attack. But that's great, because you could basically OTK with Cyberdark Dragon. Let's say you power bond, you have 8,000 attack, you attack all of his monsters by banishing Cyber Dragons from your graveyard. And he pierces too, so even if your opponent has defense position monsters, he's gonna pierce through everything. So I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, and this works for all your machine fusions as well. So pretty awesome freaking card, honestly. Not OP for competitive play, but for anime duels, pretty strong. You could get some real sick OTKs. All right, then we have Cyberdark Infernal, the new field spell for Cyberdarks. Cyberdark effect monsters you control that are equipped with an equipped card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. So good, it protects all your Cyberdark monsters that are equipped from being targeted or destroyed by card effects. So that's immediate protection. That includes your Cyberdark fusion. So if you summon him, you equip your dragon from the graveyard to him. Now he can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And if he's destroyed by battle, you can destroy the equipped monster instead. So that's really good. And then it has another effect. You can target one Cyberdark monster you control, return to the hand. Immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon another Cyberdark monster. So you could just bounce one of yours back to normal summon another and then equip again. So pretty good. And then if this card's destroyed, you can add one Polymerization or fusion spell card from your deck to your hand. So honestly, this card does a pretty good amount. For his character deck, I don't know if for competitive this is good or not, but for character deck, this card is really good. Very good. Has 3 pretty good effects. Alright, so next up we have some basic cards. We got Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity. You need your draw cards, especially in Zane's deck, in any deck, but especially in Zane's deck. And then we have Monster Reborn right there. And that's pretty much all the spell cards. We're going to move on to the traps. We have the classic Powerwall. This is a classic Zane trap card right here, Powerwall. I love its TCG effect versus his anime effect. His anime effect is way too risky, but its TCG effect is a lot more well balanced, and it does a lot more in my opinion. But Powerwall is great. We have Rare Metamorph. He does have 2 copies of this. If you want to add 2 copies, you definitely can. Then we have Call of the Haunted. You're going to need some revival in this deck, so definitely add Call of the Haunted. We have Cybernetic. Yes, we have Cybernetic Hidden Technology and Cybernetic Revolution, another new support card that he got. Cybernetic Revolution, you tribute a Cyber Dragon to special summon a fusion monster from your extra deck that lists Cyber Dragon as material, but it cannot attack directly and is destroyed during the end of the turn. So that's really cool, because then you could just tribute one of your Cyber Dragons. Like, let's say you're the classic Zane combo, you fuse for Cyber End, you attack. Let's say you equipped it with a Super Stride and Blast over here. You attack, you kill everything. Let's say you still didn't kill your opponent by that point. Activate the fusion, attack. Let's say you still didn't kill your opponent. Then you can activate this card to tribute one of your Cyber Dragon monsters to special summon another Cyber End from your extra deck, or Chimera Tech Over Dragon, or Chimera Tech Fortress, or whatever, and then attack again. But it's destroyed during the end of the turn. So this is definitely something you do as kind of like a last resort. So keep that in mind. But it's right there. So it's good. It's definitely good. It's a good card. Allows you to easily pull out Cyber and Dragon. But it cannot attack directly. But it could still attack, so that's still good. So yeah, Cybernetic Revolution, the final trap card, will be Rebirth Judgment, which is not a real card, but it's an anime card. So I'm going to go to New first, and then I'm going to go to More Options, go to My Custom Cards, Search, because I already made this card. We got Rebirth Judgment. You activate this card, declare 1 type. All monsters in any graveyard are treated as that declared type. So normally you would make all the monsters in your graveyard dragon, so that you can equip it with Cyberdark, or you could make everything in your graveyard machine, so you could fusion summon all your Cyber monsters to summon Chimera Tech Over Dragon with like over 6,000 attack, and just go nuts. But yeah, there we go. So that's one anime card right there. We're gonna do the extra card, the extra deck next. We have Cyber and Dragon. Yeah, so he actually owns 2 copies of Cyber Dragon, so you can add 2. He owns 2 of that. He also owns the new support card Cyber Eternity Dragon. So this is cool because this is kind of like the opposite of Cyber End. Cyber End is more offensive, and then Cyber Eternity is defensive. If you notice, Cyber End has 4,000 attack, and Cyber End has 2,800 defense, while Cyber Eternity, the attack and defense are flipped. So this is 1 Cyber Dragon monster plus 2 or more machine monsters, so it's a little bit easier to summon than Cyber End because you just need 1 Cyber Dragon and any other 2 machine monsters, so that's good. If you have a fusion monster or monsters in your graveyard, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So as immediate protection, it has 4,000 defense, so it's a very clean wall. I love it because one major weakness of Zane is that he does not have a lot of defense. He's mostly aggressive, and he doesn't have a lot of defense to protect himself. So this card is very helpful. And then if this fusion summoned card you control is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can special summon 1 Cyber Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard, so really great. You can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, your opponent cannot target fusion monsters you control with card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, so really good, protects all your fusions. So really solid. Very defensive card. I love this card so much because it gives Zane the defense that the deck needed. And it's good. I know it's only 1 card, but in my opinion, it's really good, and it's not really hard to summon at all. So it's very good. Cyber Eternity Dragon clean, and I love the artwork. It's very gorgeous. Looks very majestic. Alright, so let's move on. Then we have a Cyber Twin Dragon. Obviously, we got Cyber Twin. Let's see. We have Cyberdark. We have Cyberdark Dragon. He also owns 2 copies of that, so you can activate that. So you can use 2, I mean. And then you got Cyber Darkness Dragon, another new support card. You need 5 Cyberdark monsters, so basically all 5 of them right here. And then must be fusion summon. This card is special summon. You could equip 1 dragon or machine type monster from your graveyard to this card. Gains attack equal to that equipped monster. So that's good because it also includes machine, while the original only includes dark. So that's good. Now you don't have to force your graveyard to be dragons with this card right here, because it also works with all your machines as well, so that's good. And then when your opponent activates a card or effect during either player's turn, you can send 1 equipped card you control to the graveyard to negate the activation and destroy it. So instant negation on the field, and he has 2,000 base attack, and then you equip, let's say Cyber End, that'll be 6,000 plus, actually he doesn't gain 100 for everything, so that's fine. But he'll be 6,000 attack, and he has instant negation, so that's pretty good. Alright, and then, so let's see, we're going to keep moving forward. Then we got the Chimera Tech cards. Alright, so we didn't add Rampage Dragon because we felt like that was more for competitive play, and the artwork includes Cyber Dragon, I think that's Yusei, and one of the other ones. So the artwork just doesn't match, and neither does the effect. So then we got Chimera Tech Over Dragon and Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. And then the final support card that we have here that he's never used, but it is in his extra deck and it's been shown in the anime in his extra deck, is 5-headed dragon. So add that in there. You could dump it into the graveyard with Cyber Dragon Claw, and then equip it once you summon Cyberdark Dragon, and then you'll be at 6,000 attack plus 100 for every card in the graveyard if you use the anime effect. But yeah, there you go. So that's the extra deck right there. We're gonna do the side deck real quick. We got Cyberdark Dragon. We have Cyber Laser Dragon. We have Cyber Soldier of Dark World. He owns that card too. You don't have to use it, but he does own it. We also have, so there's this card that he has in Season 1. I think he owns 3 copies of this card right here. Metallizing Parasite Lunalite. You can equip this card to one of your monsters, and that monster would be protected or is unaffected by the effects of spell cards you're controlled by your opponent. That's worded very weirdly, but it protects your the equipped monster from being unaffected by your opponent's spell effects. So that's pretty good. But it's really hard to summon, so it's kind of weird. Maybe you could dump it to the graveyard, bring it back with Monster Reborn, and then equip it, so you could do it that way. He's never actually used this card in the show, but it was shown in his deck, so it is there. But yeah, he has 3 copies of that. I'm not going to read the whole effect, but you guys can look at it yourself. Then we have Battle Fusion. So you could add this in the main deck. I just didn't have any room for it because there's so many new cards, and I wasn't sure what to add, but Battle Fusion is there. Sorry, Battle Fusion. Very powerful card. Definitely must add. It's just hard with how little space there is already. Then we have Flash Fusion. Okay, good. Then we have Photon Generator Unit for Cyber Laser Dragon. What else we got here? We got Diffusion, definitely do that for some OTKs. We have Mystical Space Typhoon. We also have Megamorph for more power if you want to keep doubling your attack points. We got Attack Reflector Unit for a trap card, good. Fusion Guard, this is probably a good main deckable card, but it depends on who you're facing because it counters burn, but it could also counter your own burn, so for Power Bond is great. But like I said, this deck is already so tight in space that I didn't know what to add, so that's that. I think he also owns Final Fusion as well, but there's Fusion Guard, and then there's Trap Jammer, and that I believe is pretty much it. So that's the side deck right there. All the anime cards for Zane Truesdale for Hell Kaiser will be in the link in the description, so you guys can download it and print it out and cut it out yourself. All of them are there, including the anime effect of Cyberdark Dragon and Chimeratech Fortress Dragon. So that's all down there if you guys want to play with some of the anime cards. There's not a ton, but there's a couple, so you could do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Zane's deck profile. Pretty straightforward. This is all just using real cards right here, except for this one card. But that's pretty much it. But yeah, his deck is super strong, very powerful, super aggressive, but it lacks defensive capabilities. But the good thing about the new support is that, like Cyberdark Inferno gives protection to your Cyberdarks, and then Cyber Eternity Dragon gives protections for all your fusions and protection for itself while it's on the field and stuff. So it definitely gave it a little bit extra defense that it needed. It's not a crazy ton where now it's super defensive, but it's enough where it can actually last a little bit longer, and the equip spell will probably come in handy, because you could just run over with Cyber End or any of your machine fusions and just attack and not have to worry about back row. So that counters a really huge weakness of Zane. So I like all the new support. It helps the deck move a little bit faster. It also helps the deck become more defensive, and even helps the deck become more aggressive and search more and stuff like that. So it helps in every aspect. All the new support. But that's pretty much it for Hell Kaiser's deck profile. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you guys. See you guys in the next video. Gotcha!